wonderful evening to our viewers out there. It's time once again for Sports Orbit. My name is Afat. So Salifu Usman is also in the studio with me on today's episode of the program. Salifu, welcome to Sports Orbit once again.
Thank you.
Right, for the Super Falcons and Coach Randy Waldrop, we can say it's 2 wins in two as it concerns the tune-up matches ahead of the World Cup on Friday. The Super Falcons were in action against Haiti, came coming up with a victory in that one, and just a few minutes ago, also they're up against New Zealand in their second um, tune-up match, and 3-0 it ended in down with goals coming from Nomer Ebi, Chechini, and Okmara Nose. So I think some little pressure off Randy Waldron. I can remember reading some reports, was it last week, where I don't know how true it was, where the NFF were actually mulling the sack of Randy Waldron, but some other persons felt, the World Cup is quite too close, and maybe that will cause some disruptions to the team, and of course, the likes of some ex-Falcon players, Super Falcon players. I heard their name being bandied around as likely replacement. So maybe for Randy Waldron, it's just a matter of go to the World Cup and let's see how you perform before you take a decision. But looking at these 2 wins, when you look at Haiti, look at New Zealand, yes, a victory, but some might want to say, look, victory over the likes of Haiti from the Super Falcons fan perspective, victory over the likes of Haiti, New Zealand should be something that is expected of a team like the Super Falcons.
Yeah, I think that this is actually their third win streak.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
Costa Rica,
Costa Rica,
and
yeah.
then New Zealand.
Yeah.
But looking at the pedigree of the teams, and that is anything to celebrate now.
Mm.
Me, I'm still skeptical about the chances of the Super Falcons winning the World Cup. But however, let's just congratulate them for doing well. So for doing well in this particular match, me, I'm a little bit excited. Beating the New Zealand 0-0 is not a small feat,
Mm.
considering the pedigree of the New Zealand team. One may say that New Zealand is not a top opponent when it comes to women football, but to some extent, if you're looking at their ranking, they are a bit more higher enjoy higher rank by FIFA standard compared to what the Super Falcons. Why they are ranked 25th in the world by FIFA ranking, among the Super Falcons are ranked 44 in the world. So definitely there's a large gap between the Super Falcons and the New Zealand, and if you win by that and you're able to beat the team that is ranked ahead of you, 3-0 to me is not a small feat. So congratulations. But however, that is something to take to begin to celebrate that the Super Falcons have arrived, or that we will give us something to celebrate at the World Cup. So it's a different ball game. But if you although no matter the strength of the opponent, but if you look at the match of the Super Falcons in the last three matches, to some extent, although again in the game again, if you watch the game against the Costa Ricans and the game against the New Zealand, if it is the Super Falcons we moved before, during the like of Pesho Akusha, the like of when I see Swallows in the Super Falcons, this the Haiti particular should be having washed with no less than five, no less than five, or more to 10 goals. But unfortunately, they only managed to score 2 goals, and they didn't allow the Haiti to put one back. But it's an improvement compared to today's games, an improvement to compare what happened against the New Zealand. Scoring a 2 goal without conceding anyone, to me, is a fantastic one. Score 1 in the first half, and then coming out in the second, the 4 minutes after the second half, then the Chigini was going to put that on and make it 2, and then before the power strikers, Okoronkwo was now make it 3 at the last minute of the match. So it's an improvement compared to the last one. But however, when the old one is there, still need a whole lot of work to do. Because the game we are talking about, if you come against the team like from France, came against the team from England, come against Brazil, come against Germany, come against Japan, and your standard is when you navigate to the post. Yes, Super Falcons have arrived. But here, they still need a whole lot of work to do, and Randy Waldron and his gears and his technical team need to build up this. We still have 3 months to go. Today, today
Exactly 100 days.
it's exactly 100 days to the World Cup. So 100 days to the World Cup is still enough time for you. That is over 3 months and 10 days. So you still have 3 months at your disposal, at your hand to play with. So rather hand on, so make the best of this 3 months and work on this thing. But one thing that is right, when we are beginning to see some good players are being called to the team, and we are beginning to see this of the team, and you need to work on this team, and then work on this team.
Very well. All right. We say congrats to the Super Falcons, and we can only hope that they continue in this vein. To some other stories now where Chairman of the Interim Management Committee, Benga Elegbele, has revealed that the NPFL Super 6 will hold at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos. The Super 6 is a competition where top 3 NPFL clubs from Group A and B will clash to determine the eventual winner of the 2022-2023 season. They said a lot of factors were considered before making the final decision on the venue for the Super 6. But a while back, head of operations David Omi had disclosed that Lagos and Abuja have been penciled down. According to him, then he said we are keeping the issue of venue very close to our chest. We will look at several factors before announcing it. First and foremost, we want to be fair to the teams in terms of neutrality. We have to consider marketing, TV, friendly nature of the venue, and all of that. However, MC confirmed that he will hold in Lagos, where NPFL Super 4 Invitational Tournament held this season. When looking at this venue, one would have expected that the National Stadium Abuja should have been, the natural and obvious choice for such a tournament to determine, the winner of the 2022-2023 MPFL season.
What I think in a small National Stadium is not like Wembley, where we have all the big matches taken to the Wembley to decide. But however, to me, I'm in total support of IMC in the Stadium as the venue for the Super 6. To me, it's a fantastic venue. And looking from your intro and what you are saying, want to define a lot of factors as I say by IMC put into confusion. And one of the key factors to me in my own view is the marketing factor of it. Yeah. And if you're talking about the marketing factor of it, that is the perfect arena for the championship because the sponsors and everybody will come around. In terms of having a natural grill of the event and the TV-friendly show arenas for the competition, it is a very fantastic one. And whatever anybody may say or do, in terms of considerations for the likely candidate for the Super League, the opportunities for the club, I think the likely one will likely be top corner. Thank God Lagos is not part of anything. No from Lagos is from LPFL.
So that issue of having some home advantage.
Probably the closest people will be the like of the Monster if they eventually qualify. Or Shooting Star until a short shine if they eventually qualify. But however, no matter how, it is a neutral venue for anybody can think of anybody, even if any water can come all the way from come to the Mobolaji Stadium and play the normal game and get the result. And what we have seen most six so far in this is not the home advantage is not guaranteed to anybody. So in terms of arena, in terms of marketing wise, TV wise, that stadium is the perfect avenue for the
I think I agree with you. Like you said, not too much a very big stadium, so it can be easily filled up. And like you said, for TV and all of that, that would really be a good place to hold this tournament.
And I urge the IMC to make use of the opportunities and the arena to marketing the league and showcase the league more that yes, Nigerian Premier League is something else to invest in.
All right, we'll go quickly on the break and when we come back, Sport Hub continues. Don't go there.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Alright, welcome back from that break. It's still Sports Orbit. Of course, not too good or shared news, if I must say, as ex-Golden Eagles coach, that's Emmanuel Amunike, actually has been sacked by Zanaco FC of Zambia. The Nigerian who had been hired in a consulting capacity led the Zambian team to an 8-game winless streak, which resulted in his dismissal and that of his Nigerian assistant, Emeka Amadi. Well, for me, when I saw you appointed someone as a consultant, he's not the main coach. Sometimes how we even do things in Africa, you really don't even understand. You see a team, you have a head coach, you have many assistants, then you still felt there was a need to bring in a consultant. And when things are not going wrong, you say, fire the consultant. And as a consultant, I mean, from my understanding, a consultant usually, you might not necessarily have, your job basically is, advisory, so you might not necessarily have a direct bearing on the style of play, the formation or tactics and all of that. Maybe once in a while, the coach might just consult you to ask you for one or two things, but and the team is not doing well, and he decided to sack the consultant and his assistant. Meanwhile, we haven't heard if the coach himself is still on the job.
In Nigeria, just like we always see, the more you see, the less you understand. And just like you see, except we need to hear from we can try to make it common. We need to this money that we can stick to our money. Of course, if we are successful, we need to hear from community because just like you see, when you see a consultant by from my own literally mean understanding of the word consultant, you are not mainly involved in the day-to-day role.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you are hired as a consultant to the firm, you are just to provide technical.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just an advice, provide technical advice. Provide this one. So if it's left for the company or it's left for the expert work in check, take what you are giving them, and if what I mean by you provide the technical side of the job.
Exactly.
This is how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
This and this and this. But you are not only the one to implement.
Exactly. Yeah.
But what the story said that he was fired along with his assistant and the coach.
Okay.
That means he was from what the story we read that it means that he was in charge. But now, frankly, how a consultant will be in charge?
Exactly.
We have a consultant and the consultant also have an assistant and then the head coach.
A head coach.
But what is I feel like I say that in Nigeria, the less you see, the more you see, the less you understand that. And this story is coming at a very, very wrong time.
Yeah.
Don't you see the hand of Moki in this story?
Exactly.
If you people will be strong and say, well, I would concern the NFL with the Jenko United job. Okay, at the time when Nigerians are beginning to crumble that yes, let this man, Pesero, this job man, who have taking it all the way from Portugal only to to pick our money or $7,000 per month without anything, without giving all the commensurate value of our money. That you should let him end by the time his contract ended in June, there's going to renew his contract. And everyone begin to look towards that Amunike has never been tested. Yeah. But he has proved, he has shown that he has the capacity and he has the knowledge to prove, but he has never been tested and it's not going to bringing him as an assistant to assist the couple was never in charge. He was never given opportunity to do that. So and as at that time that the story is now beginning to fly that he was charged, and the reason that he go 8 matches without a win. I don't know if you see that statement. You go 8 matches without a win, and this may be in the last one this could be a damage to his chance
for
of
me, I
becoming.
just see this more as a hatchet job.
A damage to his chance of becoming a superhero.
From a mischievous
there's
journalist.
There's nothing more than a hazard job
Yeah.
being
Exactly.
sponsored by somewhere.
Yeah.
But however, I think even if it's not only in Nigeria, it's happening everywhere. Even if in the Premier League, where we are all watching the Premier League. Lampard was the former coach of Chelsea.
Yeah.
He was sacked for poor performance. Then he went to Everton. He was fired by Everton for woeful performance. He was dragging the cup with the relegation. Now, Chelsea are giving him the job back. He can still do the job. So that means either his poor performance at Everton never is
at all. Yeah, I mean, for me, it doesn't even.
So we can give several examples of coaches who have gone 8 months.
Even Pesero was sacked from Venezuela before he came to Nigeria.
So we can give several examples of coaches who have sat at the club level for poor performance, but still giving another job. But today they are doing well. Tuchel was sacked by for believing that he was no longer lived up to expectation. Today he has a fine job at Bayern. He's doing well. So Amunike goes 8 months without win. Jericho United is not a super job. It's a different ball.
Exactly.
The player the material at Jericho United. There are several factors that can lead to somebody failure. Sometimes you can bring Mourinho or bring Asiliya or bring Alex Ferguson or bring the best coach or bring the any best coach.
The same Mourinho was at Tottenham and also
so bring any top job, any top coach to a club. If the material is not there, the coach will definitely fail. So for me, I believe you can't compare the material of Jericho United with what we have at the Super League. So we still have the material to Super League, we should believe that giving him a chance and give him the equal opportunity of what I give percent he will excel.
Right, to some athletics news now, where the Athletics Federation of Nigeria has shifted the training camp for the final leg of preparations for the Africa Under-20 and Under-20 Championship to Asaba, the Delta State capital. The championship will now hold from April 29 to May 3rd in Int'll, Zambia. Actually, Samuel Onikiku, the technical director of the federation, says in shifting of the venue from the High Performance Center in Abuja to Asaba is to enable the athletes train with the best equipment which were used at the 21st National Sports Festival held just last December in the States. Not a bad idea if you ask me. I mean, like he rightly said, those facilities are still in, top shape if you ask me. So moving, or except they could have some other reasons why they're moving on, because you know how things are done there. Sometimes it could be for some financial gain. Maybe by moving there, you could be able to approach a certain governor and say, "Look, our boys are here. Can you kindly assist us financially?" Because these things happen very often here in Nigeria.
I think they are getting the nail on the head. Yeah, but either for sport reasons or whatever reason that they move the camp from Abuja to Asaba. To me, it's not a bad idea.
Not at all.
Considering that Asaba is going to be a home of sport.
Yeah.
Even though the president of the federation of the AFL is from Asaba, from the other state, and he can decide to take it to his home state. But to me, that is not. Let's not look at the political aspect of it, but let's look at it basically for sport reasons. Because if you're looking at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, the track at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium is not, to me, it's not in the best state. Yeah, the pitch will be good, but the track is not in the best state. And if you take it to us, but to me, it could be unless I'm proved wrong, Delta State has proved to be a home of sport in Nigeria when it comes to athletics. No state has done well with athletics. Delta has done well for athletics. So taking a track to athletics or a camp to athletics to us about is not a bad idea at all.
All right, to some football news now, where former Chelsea player and Nigerian captain Mikel Obi, according to him, believes that Potter was given enough time to succeed at Chelsea. He said many fans felt that if Abramovich was in charge, he would have never even been appointed in the first place. But of course, completely, he said those saying that Potter was not given enough time are completely talking rubbish. He felt Potter was given enough time, and in that period where he was in charge, he failed to prove himself. And I quite agree with him too.
100%.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Potter doesn't need any
Exactly, for a team like Chelsea
and
to be in the position they are.
and just like Mikel said, he has enough time
Yeah.
to prove if he was a good coach.
Exactly.
He's a good coach to prove. But to anybody to say that he was not even a champion, that is foul.
Yeah.
He has all the time to prove himself, and he has all the material at his disposal to prove himself. But unfortunately, he couldn't live up to the expectation.
Yeah.
What was even doing Abramovich era, I don't even think.
No, at all.
Don't even think so.
At all. Yeah. Of course, through some UCL news on where Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis said Victor Osimhen is not in a position to face AC Milan on Wednesday. Napoli will travel to San Siro for the first leg of Champions League quarter-final tie tomorrow. But from what the president is saying, initially they are trying to do everything possible. Recall that some days ago he even had to train alone and all of that. But from what the president is saying, look, it's better not to even rush him. Yes, it's an important time, but rushing him might just exactly and even make matters worse for us. So why not just allow him be and let's see what we can do without him.
Yeah, it is really unfortunate that this injury is coming at this time. I'm even a little bit surprised how that knock in the match against
Exactly.
become something that we think that for almost a month.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand because he played throughout the match, but he did not come. But however, just like the president said, it's better to exercise patience with him than to watch the situation. It's an important player to Napoli, but it's going to be a very big blow for Napoli, and AC Milan will definitely celebrate this because the last time they did that, AC Milan will have their way. And let's move on.
Apart from that, in the rivalry between these two sides, from history, Napoli have always had it difficult against AC Milan. Have always had, for some reason, have always had the upper hand when it comes to Napoli. So, and now, especially now, missing someone like Osimhen, who you hope might even change that narrative, you will not even be playing.
Yeah, Osimhen would have definitely changed the narrative. For instance, if Osimhen is on the pitch, the defenders will not be at ease.
Yeah.
And when the defenders are not at ease and always have their mind on the ceiling, that will give an opportunity for other players to operate. So, and then not having a threat, Osimhen who is considered to be a threat on the pitch, they'll be asleep and they have a free role to play, which they succeeded in beating Napoli that and 4-0. And here again, they are coming again the same thing in the quarterfinal of the match, and not having Osimhen again. To me, is a big plus for them. But let's hope that before the returning leg, Osimhen will be able to pass back.
All right. Like we said, Champions League matches, quarter-final games will be up today, and if we have it, let's take a look at it. Of course, the big one definitely Man City up against Bayern. The other match will Benfica against Inter Milan, but City up against Bayern. The clash of the Titans, if you ask me. Pep Guardiola's former club coming to the Etihad. But in all Bayern meeting against Man City have had the upper hand at home, but away is always a different story. And another factor there is the Tuchel Pep rivalry. Tuchel somehow has always had the upper hand against Guardiola, and maybe wouldn't that play a factor in tonight's game?
Yeah, there's fear factors always create an impact in the game of football. Yes, you could have said it's a different game, and just like you see, right from when to share this at Dortmund, always have this issue there.
Some coach always have that thing over some coaches, no matter how they are.
Yeah, just like Mourinho enjoyed that supremacy and never seen it all the time. So, and here again, but even though you think we have a team. That fear factor that I've never win against this man, it only affects you.
Exactly.
Because it keep you at under pressure. It keep you at can this thing repeat again? And Guardiola beat with a top class coach who have beaten everybody, and then having that fear that here again Tuchel.
Yeah.
And even Tuchel said earlier yesterday that he's losing his sleep.
Yeah, having sleepless nights.
He's sleepless night over this match. That's he needs to, even though he tried to go to bed early, he still having no sleep. That means that he all he's thinking and his calculation, he just focus on that match. How to get the job done against Man City again. And another factor, just like looking at this man, Tuchel has played in the Premier League. So he knows the rhythm and the pattern of the Premier League team.
Exactly.
So he has played against Man City. So he understands the Man City team better than any other Bayern coach that have previously visited Man City always enjoy his upper hand against them. So a Bayern Munich coming to Tuchel, coming to Ter Stadium today is a different Bayern Munich. Yeah. Because they are coming with a man who understands the environment, who understands the game, and who understands the team. And so definitely it's going to be a tough knock to crash and it's a tough game for everybody. And the bookmaker will find it difficult to predict how the scoreline will go.
All right. Those matches come up much later, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, and we will be keeping an eye on them. Of course, tomorrow we'll give you a review of the results as they take place. So with that, that's all we have for you on today's episode of the program. But we'll be back tomorrow once again with another interesting episode of the show. So thank you once again for being in the studio. All right, tomorrow we'll come back again. You have a wonderful time out there. My name is Apacho, and it's bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.